in October is amazing, man. Like, I hope that we see Metroid Prime 4 soon. But in lieu of that, this is the next best thing. I can't wait to play any new Metroid game. And it's coming from Mercury Steam, the team behind Samus Returns, which is a game that I thought was pretty good. And so hopefully they'll take some of those learnings and apply them and have another awesome Metroid game.
It would be super cool if they took that game and put it on Switch, by the way. Because
Also that too.
People kind of slept on it. It came out towards the very end of the 3DS's life cycle. Casey, let's talk about this new robot, Emmy.
Emmy looks terrifying.
Yeah.
So we were watching in the Treehouse demo. Even though
Wow.
playing on camera, we're being unnerved by Emmy. It seems like if it catches up to you, that's it. You're done. So Samus has a lot of different tools in her arsenal to be stealthy. So I think she can use the camo that makes her turn invisible, or at least camouflage with the surroundings. If you're standing still, Emmy can't hear you to come. And I think they use the word instant. But I also think you might be able to kill Emmy as well, but it might not be worth the struggle. And I think also some of the suits
Oh, then,
mechanics, if you run out of
it's
energy,
gonna be
you can
in
suck your life force.
freaking 17 minutes.
So there seems to be a lot of different
Okay, I'm just gonna pause this first until
try and stay.
it's time.
Would you like me to hold your hand in the presentation? Sure, Puffy. I'm okay with that. You know, yeah, if you're not familiar, everybody, of course, this is going to be Bandai Namco. I still want to say Namco Bandai. It's when they changed the name, it was years ago, and it still screws me up to this day. Of course, they're working with Supermassive Games on the Dark Picture Anthology, a whole bunch of different horror games that are coming out.
Oh my gosh,
This is the third one of the anthology already.
that's
But if you didn't know them before, of course, Supermassive made Until Dawn, a breakout PlayStation hit that then led to this deal. Of course, they've done Man of Medan already. Now they did Little Hope, and now it's time to see more of House of Ashes. So yeah, this one's an exciting, different thing, right, Jack?
Well, I have been closely monitoring every trailer, any gameplay that is dropped on this, and it is so scary. Like, I really cannot emphasize that enough. But for me, it has to be more than scary, and it has to be more than these terrifying aliens. For some reason, the story really hits with me, and you can also tell that they've invested so much time into this project, and I'm really hoping we get more of an inside look here, because I am on board, and it is bloody and gory and aliens, and yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah,
of course.
Not your cup of tea, but 100% mine.
You know what? Hey, I'm here for it, though.
Bring it
I'm
up,
going to watch it all.
So, yeah.
Opposing forces get dropped into a Sumerian temple, right? And all sorts of supernatural elements start popping up. We'll see what's going on here. So, Golden Boy, we need you to get it psyched up. We need you to get ready.
Oh, no, I'm excited to watch it. I'm going to be very scared. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to go over to the media area, and I'm going to, I'm going to be horrified because it's going to be great. It's time, though, for our next presenter. And here, with their 2021 E3 presentation, is Bandai Namco presents House of Ashes.
Oh boy. E3 exclusive.
An ancient horror has awoken from its slumber and is hungry for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast. Ready to go, Dark.
Oh boy.
Descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Right now, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna psy off this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! We're up on the ridge! Return fire!
You teeter on the edge of an abyss. Your survival depends on the choices you make. They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Blood greener than greenland.
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into?
Keep a lookout.
Oh boy.
One by one, unless you can find the means to save them.
Oh boy.
Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed
Let's go.
by the void. Will you find the path to salvation, or be lost in the darkness forever?
Oh boy. Sounds disturbing. Oh god.
We're here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. And I'm joined by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right, so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes for most of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures anthology.
The Dark Pictures is a series of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories. Each one is standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe, so there is connection between them. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq, and then as part of that, they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit. Then there's a pitched firefight, and then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort, and it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. These big massive structures, but these different groups, they're all separated, radio contact is lost, and they're submerged in this black darkness.
We're on God's green earth and we live.
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
The just happened.
So this time it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or historical part of House of Ashes?
So we love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research. And we know our fans love it as well, because there's something that they can link into afterwards. And I love doing that when I'm playing games and watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago. The Akkadian Empire, this terrible evil. We have this self-proclaimed God King, Naram Sin. And he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple and brought famine and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it, and then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it, we get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. The team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them, or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this, they've got guns, maybe they could try and take one of them down. But maybe there's another one around the corner, or maybe there's a group of them, and maybe they're going to get ambushed.
Maybe they're like a cluster.
Exactly, yeah, a nest, as it were. Yeah. And it's been really fun to work on and see these things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us, they perceive the world in a different way. Getting little snippets of it in the darkness, did I see that? Was it something that moved? Or is it actually just one of the other soldiers that's stuck in the catacomb?
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing with horror, that you think you're going to be scared right now, and we're not going to scare you now, we'll scare you in a minute, and you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge amount of peril in the game?
Definitely. We love to do it. It's fun for us to work on. It's horrific as it is, and we know that our fans love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play it out. Get ripped and shredded and torn, and because there's a firefight, there's going to be bullets flying as well, and all kinds of stuff. And it's not just the deaths; it's the gore that goes along with it, and lots of blood.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm in.
Not gonna like it. It's pretty bad.
What differences have you made or changes have you made to the gameplay and mechanics for House of Ashes?
We were always evolving the Dark Pictures. We listened to a lot of the feedback from our fans. they want to do, how they want to push things forward. So we tried some stuff in Little Hope with more camera control, 360 cameras in certain parts, and we really leaned on that again, and it really works well. In House of Ashes, lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors, which are really tight, impressive. Yeah, indeed. So we've had to learn, because you take away the fixed cameras, and that takes away some opportunities for horror, but we've had to learn new tricks to scare people and ramp up the tension and the chance for jump scares, which some people love. We've also got a new torch mechanic, so it's military themed, so these guys are going to be walking around with weapons, with torches mounted on them. We love the lighting that we do, the sort of really inky black darkness that we have, and sort of the contrast to the bright areas. And so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going, what the threat is, and that kind of stuff. We've also done things like added difficulty settings to this game. So in Little Hope we added QTE warning icons as an example, and we've got some really good positive feedback about that, but also some people want to turn that off. We want to allow you to play the game in your way. So with our accessibility settings and difficulty settings, if you want to have a more casual experience, you can change those settings. Still, most of your characters are going to end up dead, but that's
spoilers, but that's what we come here for. That's okay, we can deal with it. So I've got to ask, what was it like working with Ashley?
So Ashley was fantastic. She researched Rachel. She understood her when she came on the set. It was so refreshing. She knew her inside out. And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
Well, we were looking for Joey. Salim helped me.
You didn't tell me this because...
You'd flip your shit.
We want you to connect to these characters and understand them as humans. We want them to seem real because they're real to us. We spend a long time designing them, and I don't mind if you hate anyone individual character because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead and you feel bad about it.
And you feel bad about it, definitely. But also we want you to save them. We want you to try and save them. We know that some people want to get everyone killed straight away, and that's fine. That's their playthrough. That's what they want to do. But can you get everyone out alive and save as many as you can?
There's a lot of replayability there.
Indeed,
it's on forever. I like that. So, last question. Favourite scene?
Favourite scenes? So, Salim, our Iraqi soldier, and Jason Kolchak, one of the Marines that's there, there's a way that can play out and a sort of contest between them, and you can make it go in a number of different ways.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It's really emotional. Seeing them film it, I was lucky enough to be there, and then seeing that come through in game, I think we've got something there. I think that's gold. And then, of course, I love scaring people, so I love the jump scares. I love the moments of tension that we bring. And we can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you again.
To take your mind off the imminent threat. I like that. Dan, thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk about, and I'm sure, I'm
I wonder if Dragon Ball Z is going to be in this. Let's hope so.
And it's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I can't wait to get into people's hands.
Oh, the sound. I don't like them.
Before we dive in to the House of Ashes, see how scared you got. Of course, we want to thank Razer for being one of the E3 2021 sponsors. Of course, giving us these tired old blades nobody cares about. But this Blade 14 RTX 3080 built right in. Of course, the Razer.
I'm taking that.
Thank you so much. No, I'm taking that.
Okay, we'll fight.
Okay, well, we've done it before. You know what? I'll take the hand-me-down. I'll be little brother. I'll take the outdated. Nobody wants these anymore, right? Doesn't worry. Golden Boy, you just saw it, the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Your first glimpse of it. We have some reactions from you.
Oh, you do?
They were recording you. They said you were a little scared, not terrified.
Not terrified, thankfully, because it was just a normal trailer, which is fine. There's my face.
You're unsettled for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you don't like that. You
don't like that. No, not a fan of that one either. Nope. Nope. Yeah, I think that was one of the jumps.
Dark Picture Anthology.
Oh, come on now.
House of Ashes. So Supermassive Games in Liverpool, UK, making that one, being published by Bandai Namco.
Are you serious right now?
I personally have fallen off the Dark Pictures Anthology, very guilty, but I did love Until Dawn. I had a great time with that one. Persia, what about you? What's your experience with Dark Pictures? I played Man of Medan, which was interesting because I hadn't really played until Dawn, so I didn't know what to expect even hopping into that one. But there was some sort of satisfaction kind of going through it all and seeing everyone die. So now I'm thinking about how they were talking about all of the bloody deaths coming in House of Ashes. I'm like, let's see if we can run this back.
I was gonna say, because yeah, the dev was saying that like obviously there are people who you're gonna want to kill, or at least there are always players who are gonna try and kill everyone. I am a player who will try and save as many as I can, so I can't really identify. Tam, what's your experience with these ones?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Man of Medan, and I went to like
Okay. I'm just gonna pause this real quick.
IGN Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay and reveals to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming
Fingers crossed for fingers crossed. Ow! Fingers crossed for Dragon Ball Z. New Dragon Ball Z game. Binge. Right. Huh. Wow. Okay.
Those that surprise me, those that make me think, that leave room for interpretation.
What I've always looked for in a game was just this really grand, epic story.
I did not know cupcakes was in here.
Not Earth.
Ooh, I'm such a sucker for narrative-driven stories.
I appreciate really good character development. Stories that
No
you
way.
can shape
Huh.
yourself.
You know, I always go back to the Telltale. Just having the option to have choices, to really feel like your choices matter. Like,
Okay.
what do you mean? I picked this and he died?
Feeding you breadcrumbs of what happened here and what this story is, and it's up to you, the player, to sort of like infer what you will and just take you down this
Minecraft
rabbit
story
hole.
mode, that's what I
Just
could.
got done playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I
Huh.
didn't want to stop playing it.
Why did he blow out his shirt?
Start playing it immediately after I finished it.
I like stories that are willing to explore more difficult topics, but not treat it like it's something that you can joke about.
Okay.
Games are empathy machines.
I can just appreciate when they have
Huh.
this absolutely massive narrative and so much going on that it could absolutely turn people away from it when they don't.
Some of these people I've never heard of.
Or have storylines that are incredibly depressing or morbid, but then they inject these bits and pieces.
If Luigi Kid is in here, I am gonna be going
For
nuts.
me, the stories I appreciate the most in games are always women kicking
Come on.
ass.
Okay, maybe not.
Welcome back to E3 Live from Los Angeles, and I want to continue this conversation about storytelling in games. Every game has some sort of story to tell, but some games have really taken their narratives to cinematic levels. Games like The Last of Us, Detroit Become Human, BioShock, Red Dead, just to name a few.
Oh my
Guys,
god.
what type of stories do you like in your games? Alex, I'm starting with you.
Yeah.
Really, DoorDash?
Okay, so the easy answer for me will always and forever be Halo. The Halo 1 story, it was actually one of the first, like, as a kid, like, one of the first, like, narrative games I actually paid attention to. For some reason, I got into the books, and then from there, it just became a fascination. Another
Okay, I'm
one
just gonna pause
that
this until they show the
always stays in
game
back of my
trailer.
mind, was my brain turned on playing Super Mario Brothers for the NES.
Game Grumps? What?
With Super Mario on the NES.
I think my first
What?
Nintendo
How
I broke, though,
there?
'cause I
Dude,
thought it
this
was a
guy
piggy
got
bank.
Game Grumps.
So I shoved a bunch of pennies in it.
I have a photo of my mum with me literally in her belly playing Duck Hunt.
I got really into Duck Hunt. It definitely helped me learn not to be a sore loser because every time I would see that dog come up and laugh at me, filled with so much hate as a 5-year-old.
Eventually, me and my big brother were saving up for a long time to finally afford ourselves a Game Boy.
A pink Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red.
I got that sweet, transparent purple Game Boy Color. Went to town on some Pokemon Blue.
Pokemon Yellow was like my #1.
The only game I only had was Pokemon Black and White. That's a game I had.
Really found my passion until Super Nintendo. Link to the Past was just mind-blowing to me as a kid.
I must have been 5. I started with the Nintendo 64, Donkey Kong 64, Nintendo 64, yellow cartridge, and
Kirby 64.
blowing on it to make sure it worked properly.
We got a Nintendo 64, we started getting into GoldenEye and stuff like that.
Did you also play Mario Kart with your cousins?
Hey, what is he
got so
playing in the
good, I
background?
learned how to drift with my feet. I don't know why.
E3. Witnesses. The birth of a new existing system just going to have a stupid Mario! Boom. It's me, Mario! I don't know if that's still a thing or not. I don't know what that is. Gamefire. Game Bonfire, I haven't pronounced that word. I don't know what that is.
As a part of Play For All, GameSpot will be bringing you the latest gaming news and announcements, interviews with developers, the biggest press conferences, and lots more. Play For All is our yearly online event that combines the excitement and announcements of E3 with charity live streams the following week.
Cinnamon Toast Ken? What? What's that Cinnamon Toast Ken?
For able gamers. So join us in June for E3 and Play For All on GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, Twitch.tv/GameSpot, and as a part of E3's official broadcast. See you then.
So when I was in college in the early 90s, I was a computer science major at the University of Minnesota, and I loved gaming. I loved computers. I knew I always wanted to do something in gaming, but it wasn't until I played the very first Doom game, Doom 1. I never even played Wolfenstein before that, but I remember I downloaded Doom 1. It was like my entire life changed. And I was so amazed and surprised and at awe at the fact that there were games like this, and that also let people like us, users, create our own content. And when I learned how to make my own levels of Doom.
Back to E3 live from Los Angeles. Now, Doom is certainly one of the godfathers of the FPS genre, along with Wolfenstein. Thank you, Amelie, for fanning me down there. You also got classics like GoldenEye, a bunch of games we grew up with that we loved. But, guys, what FPS titles would you consider your personal faves? David, we'll start with you.
What's funny, right before we came back, we were talking about how hot it is in the studio right now. You were just getting some fan service.
Yes.
Someone mentioned it's...
Oh, he made a weep joke.
Let's hear it. Someone mentioned super hot, that it's super hot in here. That reminded me, super hot's definitely one of my favorite shooters of the past few years. Such a cool mechanic that time only moves when you do. It's not a shooter that's about quick reflexes. It's not a twitch shooter. It's about careful planning out your next move. That appeals to the turn-based strategy fan of me. And on top of that, it tells a very cool and creepy story.
Yeah, Super Hot's great. Also great in VR as well. Really fun, really fun. Dan, what about you?
I have to give it up for the game that really introduced me to the world of competitive multiplayer shooters, and that is Unreal Tournament.
Let's go.
Throwback. It was one of my all-time favorite games, playing Instagib CF, all-time great Instagib CTF, excuse me, and my favorite map of all time. I don't think it's been rivaled to this day, and that is Facing World. One of the best multiplayer maps ever. You're just on this moon base. The physics in that game were so good. The gunplay was so good. I can't wait to go back and revisit it when I get home. Now I'm jonesing to play.
Now you want to play. What about you, Michael?
I am an OG Counter-Strike player. So CS 1.6. I love CS because there's a very particular way to play it, like spray patterns, strategies, positioning. It's so important. Are you CT? Are you on T side? Where exactly do you plant the bomb? There's so many intricate things about CS that I actually learned. So it made me feel smart. It made me feel like I was good at the game because I had a couple friends who taught me.
Yo, I'm just gonna come back to this later on.
That's competitive multiplayer.
Right,
I know
that's all of it.